Welcome back to MMA on the Moon, episode 6. First off, sorry about the little delays in episodes and kind of the inconsistent schedule. Last week was a very hectic week for many reasons. We definitely won't get into some of those, but yeah, we are glad to be back. Gonna get back on track, back on the consistency. So recently we had UFC Noche here in San Antonio. Um, Devin, you and I did not go, even though we do live in the same city as Noche was happening. But it wasn't a bad card, but it wasn't like a good card. I'm still kind of glad I didn't go. I'm bummed I missed that main event, but other than that, like I wasn't really too upset.
Yeah, I was it turned out to be a better card than I had thought, just off of who's on it, but I definitely am glad that I saved the money and not went. Um it had some moments and some fireworks on it, but man, I was hoping it'd be more still, but I mean, I can't complain
I just couldn't justify
as far
paying
as
that
watching it on
much.
TV.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, what they were asking for the tickets like 200, 250 for nosebleeds for or I mean, and no offense, Diego Lopez and Gene Silva was a great fight, but to have that as really one of the only big names and ask that kind of money for nosebleeds,
yeah.
no thanks.
Well, I mean, and then I was kind of afraid Kelvin Gastelum's fight was going to be off, which was going to take off probably the second biggest name on that whole card,
Yeah,
or the
I'm
third biggest.
missing by 5 pounds, dude.
At middleweight, like Kelvin, what are we doing, dude? Like you got to get your
And
shit together.
and the UFC won't cut him because of his name, but there has to be something to be done. Like I I if it's your profession, you should be making that weight, like 100%. And there's a lot of I heard a lot of people in the like DC complaining about it. They said they almost didn't even go and interview him after the fight just because of how disrespected they felt that he didn't take it seriously.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, it's just like, okay, dude, like we gave you a chance at welterweight. I think he made weight one time there, and then missed weight for the Daniel Rodriguez fight, and then because he was weighing in at middleweight practically for that fight, and completely screwed Rodriguez. Um, and then they were like, okay, then you're like for sure done. And then has this shit. It's just like, dude, how are you missing weight by 5 pounds at middleweight? The weight class that we bumped you up so you wouldn't miss weight. It's just, again, it's just like Kelvin, like, you're a professional. You're in the UFC, no less. And I'm sure he's getting paid probably better than a lot of other fighters because of his name and because of the fights he's had. But
Yeah.
again, it's just like, dude, you have to like, yeah, like I get, like DC said, like it's disrespectful to the organization that's treating you well if you're just gonna keep kind of slacking off and fucking around and thinking that you missing weight is not gonna be a big deal. Like they're eventually gonna do something, and I kind of hope sooner than later. But again, I like Kelvin. I think he's a very entertaining fighter, but I just again I think professionalism needs to come at the end of the at the top of the list, and he just has not been that for quite a while, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know what's going on with him lately. I know I mean, toward the end of his career. I feel like he's just there for the money, man. Like,
Yeah.
and he's got to be getting paid good to not give a fuck if he's giving up that much money to miss weight. 'Cause 5 pounds almost seems intentional. Like you're telling
Exactly.
me you could miss you couldn't lose a few more pounds?
And it wasn't like he looked drained on the scales.
No.
It was like, dude, it
And
looked like you just had a taco this morning and said, let's just see if this fight even makes it through. It's just like, what the fuck, man? Like,
and that's another thing. It's such a big advantage for fighters to be in overweight or not have to be drained cutting that extra weight. And 5 pounds, man, that's a big difference. I mean, in the world of like feeling drained, that is a huge difference. And you're not putting your body under that stress that Stoltzfus was trying to do to make the weight because
Well,
he made weight.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and again, like you kind of see like the effects of not cutting that extra weight because I mean, Kelvin was getting hit with some pretty good shots from that. You can definitely tell he's on the end of his career from getting hit by Stoltzfus that much. But um, I if I think if he had to like cut that extra pounds and stuff like that, like I don't know if he would have taken those shots like as well as he did, which is crazy to
Yeah,
say considering it's Kelvin. But again, and I don't know if he would have looked as fresh as he did in the third round as well.
yeah. And dude, I wish a part of me wishes Stoltzfus didn't take the fight, but still got paid the show money.
Hmm.
But I feel like the UFC probably told him to take the fight. That maybe they paid him more to take the fight, but
Well,
it's just such a big disadvantage.
yeah, I mean, I know he got that 35%, extra or cut from Kelvin's paycheck. So I mean, hopefully that's a good 35%. And again, I bet Kelvin's getting paid a lot better than a lot of the other fighters. So I'm sure that was a better
Yeah,
35% than what it normally would be. But again, he's taking damage like that. That's not irreversible, and he got hit hard with some of those shots from Kelvin. And Kelvin's not a bum, especially in the boxing.
yeah,
And yeah, I'm with you. I kind of wish Solstice was just kind of like, dude, like I'm not doing that. Like it's great to have an opportunity to fight someone like Kelvin, but at the same time, that Kelvin was just showing me like if I were him, I'd be saying Kelvin was just showing me disrespect by not even taking this fight seriously enough to make weight at a weight class he was
exactly,
bumped up to. Like, come on.
exactly. Like at that moment, like forget trying to be the tough guy in that moment or whatnot. Like it's disrespectful to not make to miss by 5 pounds. That's not like a 1 pound over, half pound over like guys struggle with. Like when they're really struggling to get that extra weight off. That's 5 pounds. That's not trying.
Yeah, yeah, that's just straight up laziness.
That's that makes me feel like he woke up in the morning and he was like, "Nope, I'm not cutting this weight. I'll take it. We'll see if he takes the fight."
Yeah, yeah. Well, and again, he didn't look drained at all. It looked like he could have easily cut that extra 5 pounds. And I mean, at this point, like I'm so tired of fighters also saying that like, oh well, I had an injury, so it was harder to cut the weight and stuff like that. And I'm not saying he said that, but if he were to say that, it just be like, well then, tell your fucking opponent you're probably not going to make weight, so then y'all can fight at 190 or some bullshit, and then figure it out from there or reschedule.
Yeah, I agree.
But I don't know. Again,
Um, other than that,
well, sorry. So, like, real quick, like, again, the UFC probably could have paid him as well to like stay on the card to make sure because they already knew that Noche was lacking, and if you were to take Gaslam off the card, like, that's a tough card
oh yeah, 100%.
because
Yeah, that would have been a big loss to that
that was
card.
one of the better fights of the card, anyways.
Yeah, there were. I mean, there were some surprisingly interesting and like fun fights. There were some knockouts, submissions. Um, at and then there was a no contest because of a little nut shot. But hey,
Okay,
how do you
yeah,
how do you feel about that?
I was, yeah, dude. So here's my thing. Um, First of all, uh, that was a bad low blow. I won't say like that wasn't. I will say like that wasn't a great low blow for sure. But
Yeah,
I think at the same time, I think that Dumas was kind of overplaying it, and my initial thought was that okay, he's milking this. So, and this may sound really shitty to some people. I don't give a shit. I think that he was kind of in the moment. I think that he was milking it so that he could get this paycheck for this fight, turn around quickly if he's not cut, or even he can turn around quickly to another organization. PFL is probably going to pick him up if anything, and if they do, he's not going to fight that often anyways. But he could try to turn around really quick and get fed to somebody or whatever, and cash in, get that money going again, and then just see what happens from there. But uh, I don't know. It felt a little exaggerated to me at the end of the day, and the point I'm trying to get across.
I agree. And he's someone that has been known to pull out of fights in the past and have some weird stuff going on outside of the UFC, saying he was hiding from cops. And he said he had $13 left in his bank account. So maybe he was just there to show. Like you said, it was a hard low blow. Like you could hear the cup shot,
Yeah,
but I've seen worse and people get up. And I'm not saying it wasn't bad, but it did just seem the theatrics behind it, like the I can't stand up, the this and that, getting wheeled out afterwards. It just seemed a
yeah, little extra.
little overplayed. Yeah.
And
Um,
I guess I don't know if this was true or not, but apparently it was because his nuts got twisted.
okay, so if that happened, I'm sorry.
No, no, for sure, for
I
sure.
know.
Like if it's a legit like nut shot and like that all happened, like we completely understand. Shit happens. Move on. Wish you all the best. But it's just a little too circumstantial, in my opinion, for him to be posting him only having $13, realizing maybe I can get back in there really quick if there's some sort of injury. Because who knows? Maybe if that was an eye poke and it wasn't that bad of an eye poke, he could have been like, I can't see. I'm finished. Like, let's move on. Go to the next fight. You know what I mean? Like, who knows if that was also the case, or I guess a potential
Yeah.
plan, but we won't know because we're not him.
Yeah, a part of me was thinking he was trying to get a quick little DQ win, get both show and win money.
Yeah,
'Cause it was 51 seconds into the fight, and I don't know, man. It was unfortunate. Like I said, I know Zach, and I was rooting for him to win, and always excited to see him. And it was pretty much like fighting in front of his home crowd. I know he had family and friends there, and a bunch of people there to support him. So it was kind of that's shitty, but
yeah,
um,
and again, like if that was Dumas's plan the whole time, like you're taking away an opportunity from Zach to fight. You're taking opportunity from those fans to watch another good fight that could have replaced you guys, like, or even give Zach a better opponent and then have a banger fight. You know what I mean? Like, there was just so many better outcomes I think that could have happened if again, a big if Dumas was faking that injury just to get another fight booked pretty soon. If the injury's
yeah,
legit, 100% feel bad. Sorry that happened to you. Nut shots happen. Sometimes they're worse than others, and there's on to the next fight. But again, it was a little too
yeah,
circumstantial for me.
yeah, 100%. I mean, he's like I said, he's pulled out of plenty other fight. Him and Zach were supposed to fight in January on UFC 311, and he pulled out of that fight, and then
I'm
got beat by Olajaychik
I'm surprised they
in
rebooked the
April.
Reese fight.
Yeah, but other than that, let's see, let's go down the fight list. That uh, that women's bantamweight, Alice Pereira, what was she, like the youngest fighter on the roster or something like
Yeah,
that?
what was she, like, 19 or something like that? I don't know. I don't think she was
Yeah,
18. I thought some people saying she was 18. I thought she was
I
19.
think she was 19.
Yeah.
She lost by decision. It was a closer fight than I thought it would be.
Yeah, I mean, I think that excuse me. I think I was watching the Weasels breakdown, and if I remember correctly, he was saying that the girl who won, he was saying that she could definitely pressure wrestle and kind of just keep that pressure on her because of Pereira's habit to kind of sit on that back foot like she was doing. And
Yeah.
again, I don't know what it is about these judges. I'm not. I thought the decision was correct. I didn't think that like Pereira had won, but I don't know what it is about these judges though that sometimes like there is success, and I do think this is like outside of this fight, but I do think there's sometimes success like backing up and picking those shots, and then they still kind of like go towards the whole octagon control aspect of the scoring, and that doesn't make sense to me. But Um,
Yeah,
it was a close fight. I thought it was a good fight. There were some moments where I was like, you know. But
yeah,
other than that, like it was kind of a disappointing debut. I thought from Pereira.
I agree, especially because she was super hyped, being so young and having high hopes and come in and lose your opening fight. Not a good look.
It's
And like you said, I hate that octagon control aspect because some guys like to move around and play the like I'm gonna have you chase me around and then pop you when you get open and or some guys like being against the cage or having their back toward the cage because they know they can stop a takedown if they go up against the cage. So um, I hate the octagon control aspect because sometimes it's in a game plan. Octagon control with your back to the middle doesn't mean you're winning a fight
yeah,
by any means.
yeah, 100%. And I guess that's a whole other problem with like just the rules in general or the scoring in general is just that it's so objective. And even with the updates that they've done recently, I feel like it's still so objective, and there's still not enough clarity and how judges are supposed to judge it or how they could judge it um, correctly to where the right guys
Yeah.
are winning. But I don't think we've seen that bad of decisions lately. I mean, unless they're over in like Abu Dhabi and stuff like that. I think some of those get a little
Oh,
sketchy.
100%.
But I think most of the, like I feel like the U.S. ones recently have been pretty decent.
Yeah, they're getting better. I wish we had more judges that had some kind of combat experience or training or jiu-jitsu or anything because
Mm-hmm.
a lot of them understand like getting punched, getting kicked, but they don't understand like the grappling aspect and what goes into it, what sub attempts look like versus certain control and dominating positions. Like some of those guys just get lost and they're like, you're not on top.
Yeah.
But and then now, I don't know, man. I like some of the aspect of like you can't just get on top and stall because that won't count to anything because of there's no damage. But sometimes they over correct and they're like, oh yeah, he held you down the whole time. He was winning the fight. And it's like, I get it, but what did he do with it?
Yeah. Yeah. I have always appreciated the whole damage comes first aspect of the fighting because and for there's obviously like outside examples of people doing not damage like in submission attempts and whatnot like but I have always appreciated that damage comes first aspect of the judging, and that has been a really great addition what you were talking about with the whole can't just sit on top and get that scored on, because that was such a problem, and I wish that would be implemented into like clinch control now, because
Yeah.
I think the rules just apply to like ground game rather than like also clinch work, because if that also applies to clinch work, we're going to see a lot less of that as well. And I think that's just one problem that the UFC's kind of had recently is just the whole stalling against the fence thing.
Yeah. The stalling against the fence is bad too. I hate stalling. I get some of it takes skill and it's tactical and you're trying to find an advantage or rest or whatever. And I understand that. But fighters also got to understand too from a fan perspective, like this is entertainment for us. And for you to stall and hold it, it's not entertaining. I understand it doesn't entertaining doesn't help you win, but at the end of the day, like the fans do pay your paychecks. UFC pays your paycheck, but because the fans buy pay-per-views or view, so
Yeah,
I don't know, man. I miss when fighters try to be a little more exciting rather than by all means use strategy, but still kind of fight, man. Don't just stall. Don't just hold. Like for example, Usman. I feel like when he became a champion, he really started like implementing more striking, especially with his grappling. He would strike more. He would stand more and box. But early Usman, man, he would be a big star. He would take guys down and just hold them for a whole round.
yeah, he would like legit just wrestle game plan, and and that was one thing I was kind of upset about because watching the Usman and Woodley fight, I think that was my first time watching Usman. It may not have been like just not remembering him from a prelim or something like that early on, but like that was my first like fight that I definitely remember watching Usman, and it was impressive enough watching him dominate Woodley the way he did in the wrestling. But at the same time, it's kind of like, damn, like this is going to be like a really boring champion, I think. And then after that, he had those bangers with Masvidal. He had those two bangers with Colby, and then even the fight with Leon, until he got knocked out was great. And
Yeah.
it, I'm so glad his title reign ended up being probably one of the more exciting ones within the past decade. And it's yeah, I missed the Usman era. Not gonna lie, it was a lot of fun,
Yeah.
and he was so active.
Yep. And I mean, he changed the style. He earned a lot of fans. I like everything that he started doing after he won the championship because he he did start out boring, but I guess he just figured out like to make the most out of my career and the money is to know that I have a dominant wrestling background, and with that I can improve my striking and be dominant in both and have guys scared of my wrestling so I can punch them in the fucking face. And it just made him even more exciting. Like he was never scared to get taken down. And he knew he could always bring that out of his back pocket, but he would stand and bang with guys. And watching how he knocked out Masvidal, I
Oh,
was like, holy shit.
oh, that was beautiful. I mean, and I think that move to Whitman was beautiful for him. I think that was perfect. I think especially with the whole I guess Burns situation with him having to fight Burns and then finding a new camp. I think Whitman was the perfect place for him to land,
Yeah.
and be up there with guys like Gaethje. And I think Rose was even still up there too, and she's a phenomenal striker in her own right. And for
Yep.
him to be learning from both of them and Whitman, oh man, that turned him into an animal. I mean, oh what a beast that guy was at the top.
I know. He had he had a good long run. Oh, all right. Back to this card. We got a little off topic.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, yeah. So definitely speaking of other guys who are exciting for sure. You have Lopez and Gene Silva who absolutely delivered in that main event. Uh,
Oh yeah.
man, but we were talking last week. We were kind of having a little hangout session. We were just talking, and we were talking about the Brahalo and Imavov fight as well, and how the fighting nerds have kind of been going down a little bit, and in terms of, I guess, just not skill, but like, I guess in terms of like just aura, and having that invincibility type feel to them. And right before this card started, man, you were like, I just don't feel that confident anymore. And
Yeah, dude.
dude, you called it.
I was because I was on Gene Silva like hard before because I hadn't seen a weakness in his fighting really. And I was like after Bahalio and Ruffy lost, and then I know that Prates he won his last fight, but before losing to Gary, I was like, man, dude, just like the momentum of the fighting nerds doesn't feel the same. I don't know. I was like, I think there's a chance he could lose. Don't get me wrong. I think he does have a chance to win, which he did.
he was hitting,
It was a
he was
great,
hitting Lopez bad with some of those shots.
yeah. So the first round, I think he was, I think overall in this fight, I think he was too aggressive, and that's what bit him in the ass.
Yeah,
Um, uh, but it was kind of back and forth that first fight or the first round, and then he tried that spinning back kick, got taken down, and then he couldn't do anything on the ground and just got busted up, was bleeding, and for like 2 minutes. Diego Lopez was just on top, raining down on him, and he was just surviving the round. And then the next round, he came back and and he was vicious. I'm surprised Diego Lopez didn't get dropped with some of those hits because they were hard.
Yeah,
He
10
has
out
a
of 10
he
chin.
has a pin. Yeah, because there were some shots I was like, how is he just eating these?
Oh,
And then I feel like I feel like what happened was that the more that he hit Lopez and Lopez wasn't going down, the more mad he got at it. He just got more and more and more aggressive and just put his guard down and just blitzed basically, like just ran at him. And that's when that spinning elbow got him.
and
And
I think he had said in the post fight as well that he was just like, I got too emotional in there. And that's an obvious thing that he gets emotional in there with the whole, crying deals that he does. And then even the whole,
yeah,
like, friendship thing that he tries to fucking play along, throughout the whole fight. Like, you can tell he's a very emotional guy. And for like you said, I think that he was getting mad that like Diego wasn't going down, because if that was almost anyone else, that guy's getting put down bad in that second round. And for God, for Lopez to be eating those and then keep moving and win the fight eventually, oh man, what a warrior that guy is. But I will say, I did think that the fight did go almost the way that I thought it was going to, because I mean, I did think that Silva was going to end up knocking Lopez out, and he was hitting him with those shots that should have been knocking him out. But
yeah,
Lopez is all like, "Nah, it's okay." It's just like, okay,
yeah. It was insane. And he Lopez after the fight, when he was doing an interview, he said
and he threw up.
that spinning well, he said that that spinning elbow was planned, and he said he was practicing it before because he knew with how emotional Gene Silva gets that he could piss him off and that he would just come straight at him full steam. And that's essentially what he did.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and did you see the pictures of him practicing it and the
Yeah.
yeah? So like it's crazy how far these guys think ahead of like their game plans, because there's certain things that may seem obvious, like yeah, like Gene could get really aggressive and stuff like that, but those guys are able to take it a step or 5 or even 10 steps further and go, yeah, but I'm gonna do this to counter this, but if he also does this, I'm getting ready to also do this to counter his counter. It's so it's again, it's like game of like chess, and it's so neat to watch, especially whenever they talk about their game plans like after the fight, like what Lopez was saying. I that's incredible that they were kind of almost like counting on that.
Yeah, I think he just followed Lerone Murphy's game plan. That if this guy gets too aggressive and starts like basically running at me hands down, I'm just gonna do a spinning elbow and see if it works. And it fucking worked. Like these guys need to learn to like block their fucking chin, stop running forward. Like you may have someone on their back foot and they may not go down with the first couple shots, but if you maintain your composure, if Gene Silva would have stayed in the center and just kept working his game plan and stopped doing, because he was doing some beautiful boxing. He was doing those teep kicks. He would throw those weird like angled elbows. And I thought all that was working good, but once he started getting out of his frame and just chasing, and he started trying to do spinning stuff and acting crazy, I think that's when his game plan went out the window and set him up for failure. If he would have stuck to the game plan and just stayed grounded and doing what he was doing at the beginning of the round, he would have won that fight. I
Yeah,
believe 100% he would have eventually knocked out Lopez.
yeah, because I mean Lopez was getting hurt. It wasn't like he was just eating everything and then nothing was phasing him. Like there were a couple shots where he was stunned. I don't think he was ever like really wobbled, but like he was stunned for sure by a couple of those. And
Yeah.
yeah, if he was gonna keep hitting him like in that third round with a shot like that, like that would that I think that would have put him down, if not the fourth round. But again, who knows though if Gene's power would have given out by then as well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
So
because he's never been in a 5 round fight, so it would have been interesting to see that pace.
yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, and how much power that guy throws into his punches is insane, and he's knocking everybody out. It's not like he's just kind of like getting good angles on people. Like he's putting power into those shots to put him down, and so
Yeah.
all that energy is getting exerted really quick. And it would have been really interesting to see him go into a fourth, fifth round maybe, um, with someone like Lopez who has been there, especially with someone like Volk, and really kind of see on where those guys are even at in terms of cardio. Because Brawlhalla, went 5 rounds, no problem, but at the same time, he wasn't able to do a whole lot and exert a whole lot of energy because he was getting beat up the whole time practically.
Yeah, it was a fun fight, man. It was that fight definitely set the tone like for the whole card, or like was a good way to end the card. Like we knew it was going to be fireworks, but it definitely beat my expectations.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. And thankfully, it did. For all the people that went, hopefully they did enjoy the card, and hopefully it wasn't a disappointment to them because again, kind of like what we talked about as well, just kind of comparing the last couple Texas cards to what this one was. It was definitely a lesser quality than what we've had before, but Texas cards always deliver in some sort of way, and
Yeah.
this one definitely had its moments.
One one last thing before we move off this card, that Alexander Hernandez knockout.
Dude, these refs in Texas just want to see death. I swear to God,
Dude, he was
he was.
beating this man's unconscious body.
I just
It was
I don't understand what these refs need to see, man. I mean, the last time they were here in San Antonio, I think it was no, it was Austin. But the Jalen Turner and Bobby Green finish, it was like that felt like we were about to just see a murder, and then almost the same thing with Hernandez. Like I saw Diego go out like 3 times. I thought it was like, dude, like
yeah.
I could have stopped this fight even before he went out the first time.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't understand what these refs need to see, man. Like you're hurting these guys so bad by especially these veterans who have already taken a whole career worth of damage, and then you're getting them in there with guys who are hitting them a lot harder than they've probably ever been hit. They're getting extra damage for you not stopping a fight. And again, it's like stop a fight prematurely rather than late. Like I'd much rather deal with those issues than fucking some guy ended up not being able to walk and talk when he's a grandpa. You know what I mean? Like, it's just not worth it, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I feel the exact same.
But
Yeah,
hopefully he's
I
recovering
wish
well
ref was,
because I can't imagine how
yeah.
bad that is.
No, dude, it was bad. But I mean, you can't blame the fighters either because they're told not to stop, so the ref pulls
No,
them
no, no,
off. And
no,
you've
for
seen
sure.
and you've seen like guys that stop early, and then the refs are like, well,
Yeah, it's like
but
keep going. It's like you want me to kill this guy?
yeah, yeah.
Like what's going on, dude? Like you have money? You have
Who
money on him? Like if you
who
want, like I'll just fucking knock myself out real quick. Like holy
who
shit.
was refing that fight?
It was
Was it
it was some Texas guy. Like I've never seen him before. I don't think.
okay?
But that's what I'm saying. Like I felt like the other guy who did the green fight like was also a Texas guy, not like the normal, you know, group of refs that we normally see.
Give me your. I mean, obviously, if you look at the pound for pound list, you have Ilya at the top, Islam at number two, Marab three, Asmat four, Pantoja, Volt, Ankalaev, Madalena, Tom, and Pereira. Give
So
me, well, some of these, I don't like the way these pound for pounds are ranked,
yeah,
or we were talking about before. You said the media votes on this, and we don't know who the media is or whatever. I just wanted to get, who do you think are your top three pound for pound current fighters?
so I think my top two for sure are going to be Islam and Ilya, and you could change those two guys out in those two spots like however anyone wants. And I think that third spot is where things start getting really tricky because you have someone like Marab, right, who's able to implement that game plan um, on anyone practically. And I think if you were to move him up, those weight classes and kind of see that game plan implemented in the higher weight classes, you'd still see the same amount of success, I think. And at the same time, though, I really want to put Volk in that third spot just because of his history and capabilities that he was able to do to Max, considering how skilled of a fighter Max is. Using his wrestling, outstriking him, and just the reign he had in general, and how well he did against Islam. Like it's not like he's a slouch on the ground. I think that was a really big tell on how legit Volk is, even as a fighter, and wasn't like he wasn't legit beforehand, but I think that just adds to him. And I I, I don't know. I feel like people could also put Hamzat in there just because of how dominant he has. He's been his whole career, besides like the Burns fight, but and Pantoja maybe. But my problem with Pantoja is that he gets hit too much, and I think if you were to start implementing stuff like that into higher weight classes, like you can't get hit too much like that in heavyweight. You're gonna go down. So I think that's where
Yeah.
like certain small stuff starts kind of playing into factors. But my official answer, I want to say Ilya, Makachev, and Volk.
Okay.
But
My
yeah, please tell me yours because I'm kind of curious because there's I feel like there could be a lot of different answers for sure.
yeah, there so I had a really hard time actually getting a top three. I think I would say a top four. Um, I was stuck between four guys. Um, Islam, Marab, Pantoja, and Volt. Um, I feel like the lower weight classes are really disrespected on this list. Uh, and I get it. Higher weight classes typically, um, anything can happen, especially getting knocked out and whatnot. But I feel like it's a lot more skill at the lower weight classes, and guys like Pantoja to like he came in at he became the champ at a perfect time, and he's kind of cleared out the division to where he's beaten everyone, and he's recycled through guys, and they don't even they're just handing them people now because they don't know who to give them, and I think that takes some consideration into how dominant he's been as a champion. Same with Marab, he's kind of cleared out that division at the top, and I feel like all four of these guys that I listed really, I mean, cleared out their divisions as champions and be the top guys, and they didn't have anyone else to give them. So Hulk tried to move up, and that didn't work, and he lost against Islam. And then he came back down and he lost to Ilya. I personally wouldn't have Ilya on that list right now. I know he's a double champion. I know he's got a shit ton of hype around him. I know he's beaten some of the best guys in Max Holloway and Volkanovski and then Charles. But I don't know, man. Some of these other guys have had long title reigns, very successful careers, and the longevity that they've been at the top, I feel like really sets them up top. And I know he beat Volkanovski, but I think what Volkanovski did before that, and then coming back and winning the title back, I feel like really set himself up. But on top of that, I would maybe put Volk. I hate to say it, but maybe four just because of his recent losses.
Yeah,
But it's hard for me not to put him up there. And I'm that's coming from a guy who took a while to become a Volk fan and support him really because I mean for a long time I was like, nah, Max won or this and that, but and he just became more and more dominant, and I mean he just became undeniable. But I think I would put him at four in a top three in no order, or probably Islam at the top, then Marab, and then Pantoja, just because of dominance as champions.
yeah. No, I think that's completely fair. Because again, I think that Islam could easily be number. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I think that Islam definitely could be number one and easily without a doubt because of what he's done and how dominant he has been since even just becoming champion. Um, I think Marab is a very valid answer as well because again, I think he could implement that game plan at any weight class and be successful, especially with that cardio. Um, I, and then again, my only concern about Pantoja is the amount of times he gets hit, and I think he's a very dominant champion, obviously for sure. Hard to deny that guy in any way. I just think that once he tries to implement that sort of game plan in the heavier weight classes, it it wouldn't go as smoothly as it would like in flyweight, to where he can take those guys' shots a bit better.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, the flyweight division is it's not the strongest division, um, but with just how dominant he's been, I had to
Yeah,
put him in there.
no, for sure, for sure.
Uh,
I completely understand that because, and it's not like he's had really close. I think the only close fight he really had was the Moreno fight because I didn't think the Usyk fight was that close. I saw
no, I don't think that was
I don't
close
know
at
how people
all.
were like Usyk won. What the fuck were you watching, dude?
I feel like people just like to hear themselves talk.
That's got to be it, right? Like there's no way that y'all that anyone honestly believed that Usyk won that fight, like in any way.
Yeah,
Like
I feel like people just want to go against what everyone says, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he definitely."
yeah, yeah. It's just fucking yeah. It just didn't make any sense to me.
No,
But
dude, I don't even think that. I don't think that fight was remotely. I think I, it's been a while since, so my memory might be a little fuzzy, but if I remember correctly, I think Pantoja won 4 rounds, right?
I had him winning 4 rounds. I think. I
Let
mean,
me go back and look.
I don't think that was like a. I mean, Usyk had his moments, but like I don't think he was really doing enough or as much as Pantoja to win the rounds for most of the time.
Yeah, look at. I mean, and I know. Let's see. There was 2 rounds where Ursay outstruck him, and that was the fourth and the second. But in those rounds, um, that he was outstruck, he also had 3 takedowns, and he took the fourth round off, but came back to the fifth. The fifth round was pretty close too.
Yeah,
But if you look at the full fight stats, he still had 143 total strikes to 129, and then 9 takedowns. Like it
yeah,
may have been close, but I don't think by much.
yeah. I
Oh,
wonder how him and Van goes, man. I hope Van doesn't like get super overwhelmed in that and then ends up kind of falling apart. But seeing how he's
I
come back
just
from the Charles Johnson loss, I think he'll be okay.
he's quick, but I just don't know how he'll do against that takedown. Because
Yeah,
if it's a different level when Pantoja gets you down,
yeah,
especially at that weight class.
yeah. That turns into a fucking anaconda trying to squeeze any part of you can.
Yeah, yeah, he fights with the
Yeah.
hatred that he has for his fathers. I understand.
How do you rank guys like Tom Aspinall though and stuff? Because uh,
Uh,
because like don't get me wrong, like I don't have him like up there like in a top five even, but I do think that like in a way he's been well rounded enough uh to show that he does belong in the top 10. But at the same time,
no,
it's just kind of like, do you look at the whole like division of heavyweight and look at the competition he's beaten and be like, it's not
I,
that great, right? Like that's the only way you do that.
yeah, I don't think the competition he's beaten it is the best, and he's very talented, but we haven't seen him in there in long fights. We haven't seen him in there very often, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Um, and I think this whole thing with waiting for John and shit, I think it hurt his stock more than it kind of helped. I get it. Like he can go on and say that John ducked him and that kind of helps, but I feel like the best way to be relevant and to be exciting and get on top of these lists is to be active. And uh, I mean, he was fighting twice a year, but I feel like it's just been forever since we've seen him fight. It's been over a year now.
I thought it's been like
Last
over
time he
two
fought was
years.
July 20. He fought July 27th, 2024 against Blades,
Okay.
but it only lasted 1 minute. So,
Yeah.
and all of his fights, like
Yeah, before that a
his
minute
last,
9 and then a minute 13, 15
yeah, and then 15
seconds.
sec, yeah, and then his longest fight was against Volkov, which was 3 minutes and 45 seconds. Oh no,
No,
sorry,
Arlovsky.
against Arlovsky,
Yeah.
which went into the second round. So you don't get to see much of him. Um, so he's and you can go to say like he's very skilled and that's why, but I feel like these other guys we've seen them tested like significantly.
Yeah, 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 100%. And again, that's just it sucks for Tom. And but again, I think even with the whole like waiting thing with John Jones and stuff, like I think he was just put in a really shit position in general with that whole
I
deal.
agree.
You know, the whole
The fact,
rebooking of John and Stipe fucked that whole thing up really bad. And then John never fighting him, and then Tom beating Blades super quick, and then it's like, okay, well then like, what do you even do after that? Like you do nothing but rematches with him, and he's already gonna do those if he beats John. If that fight was gonna happen again, anyways, it's just kind of like, all right, like Gon is legit the only one to where it's a fresh matchup. We wonder what happens. But then from there, it just goes back to fucking rematches. It's just like, motherfucker.
yeah.
Like, I want to see some new shit.
I, I truly hate that they made this man defend an interim belt
Yeah.
or hold the interim belt while they went and fought Stipe because that Stipe fight was so fucking pointless. We knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I won so much money on that fight card, but
But no,
that's
100%.
neither here nor
It was just kind of like, what's the point? It was just too late for that fight. You know, I wish that
yeah.
fight
It
happened like 8 years ago. That would have been gold.
like
But
when everyone was hyping it up, like, oh, it's the best heavyweight versus the best fighter of all time, and it's like, brother hasn't been the best heavyweight in like 4 years.
yeah, yeah, it's just kind of like you needed that fight to happen at least before the Francis Ngannou rematch. But
Because he was on like he, what a 2 year like layoff also
who's Stipe?
or some shit. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, that was his last fight
like
before that. It was the Ngannou one.
it was that was so pointless. And I liked Stipe. I hated that he came in and fucking did that.
Yeah,
I wish he would have just retired. He didn't need
yeah,
to prove anything. But yeah, whatever.
yeah. That was just what a weird time,
I'm glad that,
honestly.
to be honest, I am very glad that Dana White is blackballing John right now.
Yeah, 100%.
Because
And even
I think
Connor.
I think yeah. I think John just overplayed how much he thought the fans would always have his back and that he was irreplaceable and priceless to the UFC.
Which is crazy to
Um,
be honest, considering on how much hate like that guy kind of gets.
well, he's very egotistical. He knew no matter what he did, he could say he was the best fighter, and Dana always had his back. Like
Yeah,
he could do no wrong. So
I think he
I
depended
blame.
on that more than like the
Yeah,
fans.
yeah. I think Dana gave him too much wiggle room, and I think Dana finally had enough when he was like, "Dude, you've been screwing me this whole time."
Yeah, dude, like wasted everyone's fucking time and money. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, that.
Because he made Dana look so stupid with Dana always like, "Oh yeah, he's gonna fight, he's gonna fight, he's gonna fight."
Well, then that, and like I guess Dana always saying that, like, yeah, like we're working on it, or like, yeah, we almost got a deal done, and then
Oh yeah, it's signed, and then he was like, "Yeah, I retire."
yeah, I'd be pissed if I was Dana too. And again, same thing with like Connor with the whole Chandler situation. Like going all the way over there for a press conference just for you to pull out of a fucking press conference. At least have the press conference
Look,
and then pull out. Like,
I I understand like why people want to see Connor and John, but at some point, y'all need to let the past go. You guys are past their primes. They had their time. Let it go. Connor will never come back and be the same. If he ever comes back, he'll never be the same. I don't think he's coming back.
nah, I don't think he will
Mhm.
either. I think he's got
I don't-
enough stuff going on.
Him getting knocked out by Poirier should have been the telltale sign, like, oh, and then how he acted after, like,
Yeah,
he's not in it for anything other than his ego and pride. Same with John.
yeah,
And I just hate how everyone's like, oh, they're the best. Like we need them back, and it's like, no, let's build it some more stars so we can keep this thing going. If you keep holding on to these two, the sport's never going to go anywhere.
yeah,
What are we going to
exactly.
wait for Connor and John to come back when they're 60?
Might as well fucking fight each other then.
I know.
But I 100% agree with that. I mean, and don't get me wrong, like I would have liked to have seen the Jones Aspinall fight, but I think
Yeah,
I still think like Aspinall would have won that just because of the youth on his side, and I
I
don't know
think John
how.
knows that.
Yeah, and I think that's a big reason why he kind of ducked that because I mean Aspinall's speed at heavyweight is way faster than John's speed at heavyweight, which is
And
which which really shouldn't be the case, honestly.
don't get me wrong. Jones looked good against Stipe, but he looked good against Stipe. He looked good against Gon, but he didn't have to do much except take him down.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't think he'd be able to take Aspinall down like that. And if you saw how he moved in the Stipe fight, he didn't look nearly the same level that he used to. I think he knows that
yeah.
against someone like Aspinall, who's a freak, like can move in ways that heavyweight can move.
Well, I think that John's, he's so Muay Thai heavy at times. I think that just hurts him because I think at light heavyweight, he was so used to being able to bully with his size. And then he got up to heavyweight and was fighting those big guys. And I was like, okay, I have to kind of depend on either my wrestling or um, I feel like even with Stipe, it was more of just like I have to really pick my shots because he could still. They looked about the same speed. I mean, I don't think that
Yeah,
Stipe looked any quicker or less quick than John and vice versa. Like I thought they looked about the same speed, which again isn't good for John to be looking the same speed as a Stipe who's fucking three-quarters of the way out the door. Like
I agree.
like like come on. Like and him having to use his kicks a lot more, I think was really telling. But
And don't get me wrong, I'm not in the best shape either, but for John to take how much like the amount of time he did off to put on weight for heavyweight, he came in that fight with a little beer gut.
which one, the gone one?
No, the Stipe fight.
Yeah, yeah. I think he looked in better shape for the Gone one than he did for the Stipe.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
he didn't look that great for the Gone one either, though.
No, but I mean, it's just so weak in the wrestling. That after he saw that Francis could take him down, he's like, yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, he's like that's gonna be light work. And I mean I was happy he won that fight. Yeah, I am like a John Jones
Oh yeah,
fan. Like I do watch like or I do enjoy watching him fight. But yeah, I wasn't very surprised by that at all because
I would,
again, it's like we all know how good John's wrestling is, and we know how
yeah,
non-existent Gon's is. So
I'd say I'm a fan of John fighting. I'm not a fan of his who he is.
yeah, yeah, for sure, 100%. Like, I wish people could like actually realize that because like whenever I say like I'm a John Jones fan, everyone's all like, "Oh, so you like the piece of shit, huh?" I'm like, no, like I enjoy watching him beat the shit out of people. I don't enjoy him fucking wrecking everyone's life around him outside of a cage. Like, that's not fun.
Yeah, it's yeah. I mean, I can't agree with some of his life choices, and then
Nah,
he, I
100%.
feel like he's just constantly in some shit. And
It's almost kind of like he needs that attention, you know. Like
yeah,
he's straight up like an attention whore.
I think a lot of what it is too is when he gets drunk or gets into the substances, whatever he chooses for the night, like a different person, a different John comes out.
Yeah,
Um, and I mean, you've seen some of how he talks to police officers and shit when he's drunk and
yeah, fucking
whatnot. Like,
headbutting a cop car. Like what are we doing, dude? Like, calm down.
or hearing that phone call, like he was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll fuck you up."
yeah,
Like,
dude. Like,
what the
what
fuck?
the fuck is wrong with this guy?
They were like, we were just calling to see why this naked girl's in the car saying she's coming from your house or whatever. He's like, I'll fucking kill you. And you're like, what?
It's like, wait, whoa, like, what? I think we missed a couple steps here.
Yeah, like, huh? I was like, because when I saw that video, I was like, what the fuck is this man even talking about right now?
Yeah, yeah, you can tell he was already fucking somewhere else for sure. It just, and it's just a shame to see
Well,
like someone with that amount of talent kind of really shit their career down the drain.
I agree. I mean, I, I don't know. I mean, not to, I don't want to talk bad about his family or anything, but I mean, you've seen those videos about his brother also dealing with like CTE shit.
Yeah, it
I
makes me think
know.
that it's almost like a hereditary thing that
Yeah,
like it's like it's probably just a bipolar disorder. Honestly, I
yeah, I think that could be it.
I think they probably just have really bad bipolar issues and unfortunately they got that from either both or one of their parents and yeah it just sucks that they're that big of human beings as well with that big of anger issues because again that's dangerous for everybody.
Oh, 100%. But hey, man, they can fight. He fight.
He can fucking fight for sure. Yeah,
Um,
I would scare the fuck out of me. But you wanna look over UFC Perth real quick?
yeah, let's get into it real quick.
Nice. Let's see. So I mean, it's a pretty good card. I'm pretty happy with this one. You know, I think it's kind of sneaky in terms of some of the names on here. Not huge names, but I definitely think that you know it's always kind of nice to see Jamie Malarkey. Well, I mean, whether or not he's losing or
Yeah,
not, you know, I think it's always kind of fun to see him. Oban Elliott is fighting Jonathan McAuliffe, which is that's going to be a really good fight. That's a really good matchup. Uh oh
Navajo
the
Sterling.
yes sir. Yep. Yeah, we'll see how he does against the flopper. Do you remember
Yeah,
that?
we have. No.
Remember Bellato was the
Oh
same.
yes,
Yeah, against Paul
yes,
Craig. Yeah,
yeah. He was like, oh,
yeah. He woke up again. He was like, "Oh, what happened?"
started wrestling
Oh
and whatnot.
my
Yeah,
god, dude. Yeah. Hopefully that doesn't
yeah.
and nothing like that ever happens again because that was so fucking
I
annoying.
think I think Sterling wins that.
Yeah, yeah.
We have
Should
we have both the Taffa brothers fighting, so if
somehow.
you want to make money, bet against both of
Yeah.
them.
No shit. Well, I don't know. Fucking Ozlon looked terrible his last fight.
I can never root for a Taffa brother again.
No, that's hundred
Every
percent
time I
fair.
do, dude, they fucking lose.
Yeah, I'm really surprised they're still in the UFC, especially with just how bad their runs have been lately. Like Tafa, for example, or sorry, not they're both
I
Tafa.
mean,
What the fuck?
Junior won two fights ago, I think.
Yeah, but
He's only won two fights in the UFC.
See, Justin is 2-1 in his last five, and then Junior is, since moving down to light heavyweight, he lost his last one, but
It's
yeah, he's 2-3 in his last five.
it's crazy that they have Junior above top
I
his brother on this fight
I think they're
card.
really betting on Aslan winning that one because he needs to get back up there because there was a lot of hype on that guy, and then he's lost two times in a row now. Lost to Kudilaba and then lost to someone he should have beaten, Elikana. Um, I thought he was. I don't know. I think he was a short
Jake
notice fight.
Matthews and Matthews and Neil Magny should be I think
Dude,
would be a good fight.
I'm looking forward to that one. Jake Matthews is my guy, man. If there's anyone out there that wants to fucking fight me in UFC 5 on PlayStation, bring it on, bitch. I'll beat the shit out of you with Jake Matthews. But, anyways, yeah, that should be. That's one of those weird ones that like I'm surprised they've never fought, considering like
Yeah.
how big of veterans those guys
Oh,
are.
yeah, they both been around for a good minute.
And it's crazy that Jake's only 31.
He's only 31.
He's only 31. That dude's been in the UFC for a hot minute.
It's 2014.
Yeah, that's
Almost
crazy.
12 years.
Lost to James Vick. What are we doing, dude? Oh, that was back when he was still at lightweight. I forgot about that lightweight run that he had.
Yeah, I mean, he's fought some good lightweights.
Yeah, Kevin Lee.
Kevin Lee,
I wonder, is that a welterweight? Yeah.
fought Li Jingling. He's he's beat some good names. So yeah, he's been in a while. Neil Magny's been in a while. That Tom Nolan versus Evan Elder, I'm mad that that fight got canceled. I thought that would have
Yeah,
been a
dude.
banger.
Yeah, that would have been great.
Jack Jenkins, Roman Tavares, I think will also be a good fight.
Yeah. I'm interested on Jimmy Crute comes back again. I mean,
Yeah, Jimmy Crute.
he won his last one. I mean, I first
Yeah,
round sub, but I just I don't know if he's gonna come back with that same consistency he used to have.
no. He also fought Prachnio,
Yeah,
which sucks.
yeah, it's like he should be winning that one.
Yeah, 100%. He's fighting Urslan, who, I mean, he's on a two fight losing streak since coming to the UFCs. It's a winnable fight.
Yeah, I think that oh, he actually I don't get the fucking matchmaking like orders on here at all because you have Urslan who lost to uh, Sterling, and then Sterling's fighting as a prelim at co-headliner.
Yeah, I think it's more off of Jimmy Crute's name
Oh, true. Duh.
because they're fighting. Um, he's from Australia, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
That is one thing
yeah,
about the
they're
Australia
they're trying to
cards.
build him up.
They always stack them really nice with guys who are around that area, like Olberg, New
I know.
Zealand, Tafa, both Tafas from Australia, Jack Jenkins, Australian, Crude Australian, Matthews Australian, Nolan Australian, if they were still fighting. Um, McAuliffe is Australian. I think Colby is Australian. Malarkey. I mean, like every matchup legit has an Australian, I think, except for one, which is
Yeah,
beautiful.
and they always bring it too, man. I
Oh
love the
yeah,
Perth crowd. I love Australian and New Zealand fights.
I'm really excited for that
Uh,
headliner, man. Olberg and Reyes. I mean,
yeah, man.
dude, are we gonna see Reyes come back to a title shot again? Like that would be awesome. Honestly, that would be so fucking awesome.
It's a tough ask, man. It seems like they're trying to set up Oldberg for something big here. Um, he's on a big fighting, he's on a big win streak here,
Hmm.
but I don't know, man. I feel like Reyes is He's found something lately. He's on a big run. I think that John Jones fight set him back, but I think he's back. And I thought he won that Jones fight. I was there, thought he won it. It'd have been cool to see what he would have done as champion, but I'm glad to see him back, man. I really
Yeah,
am.
yeah, me too, man.
I was a I was gonna say that I that fight with Jones earned me a lot of respect, and I became a fan that night. And then to see him kind of go on that losing streak, I was like, damn.
Yeah, same here, 100%. Like, my first fight of his that I watched, I think it was the Weidman one, and so yeah, I was rooting for Weidman because he was going up, to light heavyweight and whatnot, and then Reyes, was the big shit coming up and whatnot, and hopefully Weidman was gonna win that and whatnot, and then obviously he gets knocked out in like fucking a minute, but it made me like look at Reyes. I was like, okay, oh damn, like this guy's actually like probably pretty legit, and then I watched the Jones fight. And I was like, holy shit, this guy's legit, and so
Yeah.
and then again, like what you were saying, seeing him go from that to just loss, 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 loss. It's just like, oh man, like that's tough, man. That's tough to see those fighters like lose those confidence in real time because there's nothing they can
Yeah,
do
he
about it. They have to find that switch and start winning again. And if they don't, like game's over, dude. That's it.
yeah, he said he just tried to make too many adjustments that it did kill his confidence, and he thought he had to change his camp, so he left his camp he was at and started trying different things, and it didn't work for him. And so I'm glad to see that he found something that's working and he's sticking with it because he's a dog.
Yeah.
I to be honest, I think he could win this fight.
This is, in my opinion, this is truly like a 50-50 fight because Olberg could definitely keep the range enough to where it'll be nice that they're the same size, like exactly the same. Both 6'4", both 77-inch reach, like is identical. The problem is that I think Olberg has a little bit better footwork, and I think that could give Reyes a little trouble. But I think Reyes has had enough experience now to where he can be like, okay, I understand what this guy's gonna be able to do, or at least try to be able to do, and we can counter it enough. And I hope he uses more than his left hand though. I think that's gonna be the big thing as
Yeah.
well. He's got to have more weapons in this fight.
So yeah, it is a 50-50 fight. I see a path to both these guys winning. I think it'll be I I could see it being a boring fight, but I don't think it will be. Um, they were scheduled to fight each other twice last year. And both
Really?
times it just didn't happen. Yeah. Um,
Jeez.
they were scheduled for January 20th and then again March 30th, and neither one happened. So
Huh. That's interesting.
yeah. So
I wonder why that is
um,
then. I think actually I think I remember Dominic being injured for one of those or something, but I don't remember the other
yeah,
one.
yeah. I think it was both injury related.
Yeah.
I think they were supposed to headline or co-headline that. It was one of them was the Blanchfield Rowe your card.
Oh, okay.
The other one was Strickland and Duplessis.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm glad they kept this as a main event. I don't think this would have been um, a great number one contender fight as a 3 rounder. I think this one's one of the ones that you need a 5 rounder.
Yeah, I don't. To be honest, I don't know if it goes five.
Yeah, for sure. It could definitely
With
be an
both these
early
guys'
night.
history, yeah, with both these guys' history, I think it goes for the third.
Yeah, I can
I
agree
say
with that.
third. Both of them are very skilled, and I know Holberg fights a little more tactically, but I feel like uh I feel like Reyes really just brings it, and he's gonna make Holberg fight his style.
Yeah, I hope that's the case because if Dominic can like draw Olberg in, that'll be really telling to see on how Olberg's going to approach this fight then, because if I remember correctly, Olberg was kind of making Blachowicz chase him, uh,
Yeah,
in their
that's how he
fight.
likes to fight.
Yeah,
He 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 fights that same way that Izzy does.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
That's true.
Kickboxing range and in and out, and so that's why that Blachowicz fight was a little more boring because I feel like Blachowicz was waiting to counterpunch also a lot.
Hmm.
I don't think Reyes fights that same way. He's gonna come in and try and find his shots, and
And
that
it,
it's sometimes it works, sometimes it gets him knocked out.
yeah, and I think if he switches up his targets enough, like it could help him out. But again, Olberg's defense has gotten a lot better since that Kennedy knockout, and he's improved quite a bit. I thought since his debut. But again, I think
Yeah,
I don't know. It's a tough fight for both of them, 100%.
I think it'll be very exciting though.
Yeah, yeah. I'm very looking forward to that one for sure. But
It's a good fight for the light heavyweight division too.
I did have a question for you real quick, kind of
Yeah,
regarding like the schedule recently. So I know that like we were kind of talking about in one of our earlier episodes on kind of the scheduling of UFC and whether or not that maybe we should cut down to cards being every other weekend to kind of stack the cards a bit better and whatnot. I feel like the past month or so we've had almost like an example of that, to where not necessarily the cards are like more stacked, but we're getting that like every other weekend schedule. I don't know if it's just been like I don't know because if I remember correctly, we had like a fight night, it was empty, and then pay per view, fight night, and then now it's
yeah.
empty,
I think
and then it
let's
was
see.
fight night, and then empty again.
We had a we had fight nights, pay-per-view, and then after that pay-per-view, we had one fight night, then a week off, and then it came back the next the after 2 weeks, and then so we only had 1 week off. I think it felt like more because some of these fight nights were,
Well, we have a week off this week as well.
yeah. So every now and then they have usually what I've noticed is they have a week off either right before or right after a big pay-per-view. Um, whether that's to build hype or set up production or whatever it might be. I oh sorry, what was the question? What was the question? I
No,
was
you're
about
good.
to
You're good.
answer
So,
something. I didn't get a question.
no, you're good. So I guess my question was that like, um, with taking off that 1 week and then taking off like this week, I definitely kind of feel it with the whole like I guess like skipping those weeks because I'm so used to having it every weekend. But my question is, I guess, is has that schedule difference kind of made you rethink or kind of agree with past statements that we've made, like with maybe it would be better to kind of cut it down every other weekend? Like, how are you kind of feeling with the schedule?
No, I like I've said, I think I would prefer them to cut it down every other week or something, and just stack the cards a little bit more, man. I like fights every week. Don't get me wrong. I love it. Um, especially when there's no other sports on. There's no college football, no any type of football or anything and you can just watch fights every Saturday. I love that, but I don't like when it's boring fight nights and you have just not main event fighters fighting in the main event just because you got to
Yeah.
put together some type of event. Um, I don't like that, and I feel like it not it takes away from the product and it makes things boring. Thankfully, we've had some good fight nights this year. I think most of the fight nights have been pretty good. Most of the headliners have been really good, besides a few. I would say the weakest one that comes to mind are that Ira and Park Hyun Sung fight, and then this last one that was in Shanghai. But the part, the rest have been pretty good, and going forward, they're all pretty good. So, um, if they can keep the fight nights where they're at right now with the level of talent that we're getting, then hell yes, full steam ahead. Um, maybe you don't have to stack the card as deep with prelim fights if we're just gonna get watered down contender series guys or whatnot. But I'm here for it, man. Keep this going because it's. I think it truly has been a good year, especially in the second half of this year.
Yeah,
I think it's been amazing for the UFC.
yeah, yeah.
I think it started off pretty weak.
Yeah, yeah. Unfortunately, no, I definitely agree with that. I mean, yeah, because I'm looking at some of these like early, like Dean and Rubos 2 was the first fight night headliner of the year. Like,
Yeah,
come
yeah,
on,
yeah.
bro. Like, what are we doing? But I mean, some of the other ones haven't been really too bad. Like, we had Adesanya Imavov for a fight night headliner, Rodriguez and RoboCop, or sorry, Cannonier and RoboCop. I didn't think that was
Yeah.
a bad matchup for a headline. I think we probably could have gotten a better one. I think that's probably a better co-main somewhere. But I mean,
Yeah.
not a bad name value though. For a fight night
Cop
headliner.
and Cop and Almabayev, that's not a headliner by any
Yeah,
means.
yeah, like that one. That one's kind of rough. Vittori and Delize 2. Like, what the fuck? Like, come on.
Yeah.
That's a bad one, especially with kind of how they've been in the past couple years. Not even like the past year, past couple years, and for them to be getting a headline spot, it's kind of just
And
that's a Derek Lewis type main event.
yeah. But I mean for the most part, I've been with going back and looking at it actually,
It hasn't been
it's
too bad of a year.
it's a few. There have been a few. Yeah, there have been a few. But I know in years past some of the fight nights have been real shit. And then you're like, where are these good where are these good main events or good fight cards at?
Yeah,
Um but this year I think's been a good year. I'm excited to see what happens with this new Paramount deal and whatnot.
yeah, because that starts in January, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope they
that's
don't water
crazy
it down too
quick.
much. Yeah.
So yeah, hopefully they pull it off well. But real quick, um, there actually was that one fight night coming up that got changed. Unfortunately, Hernandez is out against DeRitter, but call me crazy. I'm not as excited, but I'm still pretty excited about Allen stepping in there because I think if DeRitter and Allen goes to the ground, we're in for a treat. Allen's ground game is legit, and the only thing that I'm kind of like not looking forward to is the stand up now, because who knows on how Allen's gonna be able to deal with that kind of, I guess, like pressure in a way, because he does tend to gas out a little bit more than some, but I hope that goes to the ground at least for like one round.
Yeah. It's still going to be a good fight, I believe. I just, man, I really wanted to see that Hernandez fight.
Yeah.
I wanted to see Hernandez get a shot, and I feel like unfortunately this injury was at a bad time, and it might set him back and lose him this opportunity for a title,
Well, I think that
which sucks, man.
I think that regardless, like he would have had to fight DeRitter, so I think worst case scenario he has to fight one more anyways, and then is back up there because I
I
don't
know, but
I don't know. I see your point though, with kind of like, and hopefully it's not a bad injury to where it is gonna set him out for a good while. Because if that's the case, then yeah, he's gonna have to kind of probably get two more fights in, which really sucks.
because I mean, his recent fight streak and that impressive fight over Delize. Imagine if he would have came in and had a great win over RDR. I think he would have jumped Imavov for a title shot.
Yeah,
Um, I think this kind of sets him back now. He'll have to wait till probably after RDR gets a shot. Because I think RDR beats Brendan Allen.
I do too. I think that size is going to give Allen trouble, um, along with just the knees, and because he's not going to be afraid to go to the ground with Allen. I mean, Allen's legit on the
Yeah.
ground, but I think DeRitter has that confidence to where he just feels like he can do anything. But again,
Yeah.
I really hope that goes to the ground, man. That's going to be such a good scramble and grappling exchanges between those two. Oh,
I think it'll go to the ground eventually.
yeah. Whether that be one of them pulling or Allen trying to take him down, I think. Because I don't think DeRitter's going to try to take
Yeah.
him down. I think he'll try to do his same game plan with the whole, try to gas you out with his knees. But I'm glad it's still 5 rounds because I know they offered Costa the fight against DeRitter, and Costa was like, "I'll do 3 rounds," and I'm glad that's not the case. As much as I would have liked to seen Costa in there, I'm glad DeRitter's still getting a 5 round fight.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm glad it's 5 rounds. And I'm glad Costa would have been a good fight, but I don't think he would have been a good fight against RDR.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, I want to see Costa in some good fights, but I think RDR would have been a bad matchup for him and his style.
I think it would
I
have been
think
interesting to kind of see on how Costa comes out with that pressure, especially if he comes back like to his old form. But I don't know.
I think RDR would have just taken him down, and that would have been
Yeah,
all she wrote.
yeah, especially with that size. That dude's so big for middleweight.
Yeah, I know. I
But
can't believe he makes that weight.
I
I mean, he
know,
said he was
like,
what he was fighting like 200, 205 or something.
well, yeah, he was a light heavyweight over there and won, and also
Yeah,
I guess also middleweight. But yeah, that's a big dude for middleweight. I mean, even light heavyweight, I feel like he would do decent in. I mean, being 6'4", Pereira and all them
yeah,
are 6'4", but I don't know.
yeah. Unfortunate that he that Hernandez got injured and had to pull out of the fight, but still a good fight. And it's still a good fight card as a
Yeah,
whole.
I'm glad that
I
Hernandez
think.
didn't go into that fight with an injury
Yeah,
because that would have been super disappointing.
yeah. And we still, yeah. It's still a great fight card. I
Kevin
think it'll be
Holland and
fun.
Mike Malott. Good lord,
Yeah.
that's gonna be interesting.
But do you have anything else? I think
Nah,
we
man.
covered a lot tonight.
Yeah, we definitely did. I think that's it as far as like I can think of. Um, but yeah, I can't really think of anything else. Just I just kind of can't
Oh man,
believe the hype of the fighting nerds is gone.
I think they'll be back, but it won't be the same height. But I think they'll still be good.
Yeah,
I think
they'll have a good team, but
Gene has potential to still fight for a title. I think he's very talented if he tones down that aggression and that emotion. Ruffy will be entertaining. Holio has to work on some stand up and some other stuff. And then Altes is still in the mix, especially after that spinning elbow. I think that shot him up there.
yeah, Product is definitely if he gets match made right, he could definitely sneak up there into a title shot. Um, if he gets put with any of those wrestlers, though, we'll see. But yeah, I think I'm with you. I still think they definitely have a chance of being something in the UFC, but what a rough stretch for them.
I know.
Ugh, that's gotta be
Um,
tough. But
oh, I gotta get out of here.
yeah,
But
sounds good. Well,
well,
yeah,
it
uh,
was another good episode. Yeah, we talked about a lot, and I'm excited for these cards coming up.
yeah, me too, man. I definitely think that we're getting better cards as we come along, and again, hopefully that Paramount deal kind of helps us out as well as fans, as you know, giving us giving us the cards that we kind of deserve. But um,
Agree.
yeah, because some of those, whoa. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who is stopping by and listening. We will see y'all in the next one. Um, but yeah, I'm dead serious though. anyone wants his fucking hands in UFC 5, let me know. I'll put fucking Jake Matthews on your ass.
All right.
All right.
All
Have a good one,
right.
everyone. See you on the moon.
Bye, guys.
Later.